Hey everyone! Welcome back to In Depth. We had just started this and realized the mics were off. Okay. Yes, In Depth is back. This is kind of a bridge between episodes seasons 1 and 2. We really wanted to kind of refresh the show with some of our new ideas going forward, which is actually going to start in January.
Yeah.
We'll still have some episodes like this, no doubt, right? It's just going to happen.
We're going to involve more players. We're going to involve the house a bit more. We're going to do more unique content. That's the idea.
We have some cool ideas, so
Yep.
we hope you guys look forward to that and like that. But here we're going to be going over some games and just putting out some episodes over the coming weeks. So definitely check that out. This particular episode is going to be Nation Wars stats for Serral from the finals of Nation Wars.
Yeah, and what makes this EVP a little bit different is the fact that it's on the new patch. So Broodlord Infestor is going to be changed if we see it at all, but chances are we won't, considering there's no Infested Terran and a leash nerf.
Yes.
We'll have to see what can be abused and what can be played in this matchup. I think these two are the forerunners for that.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to take a look. Of course, guys, make sure you are supporting Nation Wars and O Gaming. This is one of the most fun tournaments out there.
And support us too. At
Patreon.com/indepth
Yeah.
SC2. All right. That out of the way. Let's jump in to game number 1.
We just speed around that intro because we did it twice. So
this is a greedy opener here. Gas first.
Gas
no
first.
Scout till
Not
Cybernex core.
the greediest, because you could go Nexus first.
Yes, but
To some extent, I actually think
Mid-range
Nexus
greedy.
is less greedy.
explain.
Like, if this is a 12 pull and you don't scout anyways, you're dead anyways, I think.
Yeah.
The Nexus Gate or you can go Nexus Gate or something like that, and it feels even stronger, I think, than this. And
Yeah, it would be stronger, but it's more greedy.
yeah, but it's
You
the
die,
same
both of
greedy
them
because
die.
you both die. Yeah. You die to 12 pull either
Well,
way,
your
no?
Adept comes out quicker with this build,
That's true.
right?
But you can double Adept quicker with the Nexus first. So your
Yeah,
second Adept's out
yeah,
quicker.
but then your Stargate is a little bit late, right? So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that there should be more Nexus first, though. That's definitely something we've talked about. Okay, so let's take a look at what these openings look like. Oh, what's that Evolution Chamber doing? What's that all about? We getting a quick Ling upgrade?
I guess. Should have probably started already, though.
There it is.
Yeah, melee first. The timing feels a little weird on
Is 2 Stargate Phoenix really popular right now?
this. It's definitely up there in strategies.
Because I feel like this is the best counter to that. But
This can be really strong, yeah. I like this a lot. Melee Lings is very strong. Where's his Link speed?
he has it.
Oh, yeah, he has it. It's not before speed then. It's just a fast +1.
Yeah, yeah. He just wants the upgrade. All right, so Roach Warren coming out. 3rd Nexus on the way. What do you like this Adept thing that we're seeing a lot of?
I think it's good if you're forcing like Lings and stopping them from, like, look at how many Lings Serral's actually produced. Let's see if the drone counts. Yeah, like the drone count kind of hinders. Like, we could have Serral up to 70 drones already realistically if it's a Stargate opener. The big thing with Stargate is when you see it, you're like, I can just build 1,000,000 drones because I'm not being pushed anytime soon.
Yeah, and I would be remiss if I did not mention that a lot of these heavier Adept pressure builds, first off, that was normal a couple years ago, 2.5 years ago maybe. We were always seeing like at least 5 Adepts in a row made out of your first gate, right?
Yeah.
Where it was just like, all right, send a couple. Now we're sending 5 or 6 along with the oracles to see what they get done. So
it felt very
it's something.
Neve-esque.
Yes, that's actually what I was thinking as well. Is Neve is one of the main players I remember from that time utilizing that, but also heavier Adept like harassment type play is something Alpha Star uses a lot.
Like,
so
this
just
is
want
really
to throw
strong.
that out there.
54 drones to 51.
Yeah, that's really nice.
We also see like a pretty decent army being built from stats. So here's
Not
the
bad.
thing:
Huh?
you have to rebuild your Zerglings to deal with the initial Adepts that are constantly harassing you.
Mm-hmm.
And then a bigger push comes out that you don't have the economy to just kind of throw units at it, which is what a lot of the response is to pushes like this. And he still has his oracles too, so he can utilize that with Adepts if he so desires. Though we haven't seen that yet. I really like stats as opener.
Yeah, no, it seems quite strong. I like it. I like that the oracles have come home and he's just like making sure to get his economy up.
Yeah, just feels strong.
He's playing a solid game. So Overlord speed, Baneling Nest. He's got that +1 melee. We haven't seen him be able to really utilize that yet, though.
Yeah, he's getting +2 melee now.
Hmm.
I kind of like +2 melee. I mean, it feeds into Baneling.
It's one of the best upgrades in the game.
Yeah. The difference between killing probes in one shot with Banes versus 2 is a huge difference.
It is beyond huge. It is so gigantic. You kill, like, way more probes.
Yeah. I mean, 2 Banes is still great, but 1 Bane is even better. Even when they split, you can kill.
Well, you always get them. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes if the Banes don't have the +2, you can actually just sit your probes there if only one gets through.
Yeah, this push isn't that scary, but
well, he's keeping the pressure on. He's sitting right outside the creep. I kind of like it. I like
he
this.
Doesn't plan to attack, right?
Overlord
like
drop.
4th Nexus.
Drop Overlord. Drop Overlord.
I assume.
Where is it?
I assume that's gonna pick these 4 up. No?
Oh yeah, yeah. Here it comes. There it is on the minimap. I see it. There he's going.
These Banelings are waiting for their pick.
And look at this. It's timed out with +2. Oh god. +2's not done, but does it matter?
No, it doesn't. Oh, yeah. So you didn't even have to wait for +2. I think +2 timing out on this is the big one, right?
Yes, for sure. Well, when you have that many Banelings, it doesn't matter.
It literally just finished now.
Yeah.
Like, that's sick.
It's extremely well timed out. And look at this. He's going Hive behind this while destroying the economy. His creep spread is looking really, really nice. We got to talk about this style a little bit in a second here. Let's see what the Bane drop does first.
There's even a Phoenix here. Oh, my God.
Doesn't do anything, though.
Oh, it killed 7.
No, I mean the Phoenix doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at this style a bit. I want to see what Serral actually yeah, I don't know what this story is here.
Send 2 Sentry and Adept. When do you ever send 2 Sentry and Adept to deal with anything?
I think maybe they got lured away. Like Lings ran in to check what's going on. They were here.
Maybe
and they just followed. That's like
it's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah. It was definitely something like that. Okay, let's take a look at the actual armies, right? It's a very small Roach Ravager contingent. Lots of Lings and Banes. He's been focusing on upgrades only for them, right? Yeah. Like he got Roach Speed. Obviously, you're going to get Roach Speed. But going up to Hive, adding the Spire on there, I like it, right? Because he's got the base set of units. Right, this is the thing so that he doesn't just instantly die to whatever Protoss wants to do, and then the Lings and Banes are just kind of running around and trying to harass a little bit.
Yeah, I like this too. This is like the ultimate defense army with also huge offense capabilities.
Yeah. It's a really good point because when your creep spread's looking like this, it's very hard to attack onto creep against speed Banes. Yeah. Like you need a lot of Archons.
Plus, like, he can just send a wave 1 of Banes, morph in another wave, wave 2 of Banes, warp in another wave. Like, you're essentially never going to get to the meat of the Zerg army, or the Zerg economy. It feels like he's doing a perfect job of utilizing the upgrades he got early on, too. Like, a lot of times you'll get upgrades like +2 and not do Bane run-bys or whatever because you're on the defense or whatever. Like, it's so much harder to send those out while you have a push coming across the map towards you. So everything feels like it's done perfectly. He's fully aware of exactly what the army composition is.
Yeah, and I like that he's actually going up towards the Broodlord tech.
This is cool. This looks like a lure. Like he's trying to lure the army out of the way. Yeah, look at.
Yeah,
that's chase me.
That's almost too obvious.
Look, there's a ton of Banelings there. Like, yeah, he's just being annoying. I just kind of want to switch Serral. He's doing it again by the looks of it. Look, see? He's doing it with his whole army now.
No, he's bringing the whole army. He's like, okay, time to reposition.
Yeah, this is perfect.
Come over and fight me. Come over and fight me. And look, as the army comes down, the Banes just moved.
Yep. He actually hasn't even gotten confirmation that this army's moved yet.
Yeah, and in fact, it didn't.
He actually just assumed.
The move is great.
Yeah.
It's a great move. Like, a lot of times they will do that. They will run.
I like the assumption that the army's moved, though.
Yeah.
Like, he actually didn't get confirmation. He just assumed the army was moving this way, but it wasn't.
I think it's a good move from Serral no matter how you look at it. And then it actually, like, does okay, too. It's the funny part. Oh, God.
Yeah. I'm surprised the army didn't move there. Do you think
it's because it's stats.
You think
he's
stats
too good? He looked at the army coming. He knew he didn't need his whole army. You know?
Yeah.
You don't need to bring your whole army for everything. That's for sure.
80 drones. I love this Dauntless relentless pressure here. He didn't need to do that.
I love that he turned around and killed the Archon. He realized, oh, wait, I can actually kill one of these with Banelings. Sick. So, hold on. I want to talk about this one thing that we see going on here. What I really, really like is that he's going Greater Spire. Because everyone keeps talking about how Broodlord Infestor is dead, right? Like, it's just not as strong. It's just not as good. And one thing that I have said like plenty of times, and will continue to say, Ling Bane doesn't actually transition into Broodlord well because you're not actually tanking well for them. But when you look at the type of army that needs to be made to deal with the Ling Bane that's consistently happening, it's mostly Archon based, right?
Yeah.
And
Storm.
This type of army that's being put together, I love the fact that he's getting to Broodlord tech just in case. Like Broodlords deal wonderfully with Archons, even with all their nerfs and stuff. Like you're gonna do well in that situation. So this feels like a great safety play.
Yeah, I agree.
Like it's not like that's going to be his endgame composition, but it's
like a stepping stool. I think I said this before.
Yeah.
Where it's like a stepping stool to late game, even though it's Broodlords. You know, like it's just like the proper like you need to do something else army composition. Like Broodlords offensively still are way worse than they were before. I think.
You know what? It makes them feel a little bit more like Ultras in a way, where you're like, there are times and places where this is going to be strong. It's better defensively than offensively, but it can be good. Not in this matchup per se, but you know we've seen Ultras like that in
I think it's almost
ZBT
a force to
sometimes.
sky toss, which I guess you feel like you can deal with.
Yeah. Well, if you can clear out their first,
he's opening that path, right? But we don't necessarily see it either.
Yeah, I mean, like we look at these
Spire is
briefly.
Finishing. Do we have any corruptors? No. But the nice thing is that pathway is open. If he's ever like, oh, I just need a couple of Broodlords to defend here, then you can just pop them out. I think this is really important for all Zergs. Like you'll see Ultralisk Caverns not utilized. You'll see Hydra Dens not utilized. Whatever building, we're just unlocking that tech path for if it's completely necessary.
It's kind of the wonderful thing about Zerg is as soon as you have that production facility, you can make a gigantic amount.
Yeah, it's very different for Zerg. Unlocking tech paths is very important. Take those free Zealots. Have you ever seen Zealots die quicker? It's only +2, but you know. +2 is a hell of an upgrade for Zerglings.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to stick on Serral's thing because I want to see how he's pulling stats. Because every movement he does is very intentional, right? Like you may think the multi-prong has less intention than it actually does. Like look at this. This flank only has 2 Archons and this flank only has 3. Well, where is Stats' army? Is it sitting in between? Actually, Stats' army is just tiny right now.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
He's got dwindled down from all the Bane run bys on the workers. Oh, that's the wrong camera. Then he's only focusing Banes. He doesn't even care about anything else.
Well, the rest of the army is just kind of there to tank some damage and be annoying.
Look at how fast he injects. Can we take a second to admire how fast that actually was?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's doing all this. This is faster. This is the speed that players are playing at. It's not any faster than normal. So he's tacking. He's running Banes into the mineral line. He's watching both sides at the same time. Just sick. Look at this.
Damn.
Watch this inject.
Wow.
He just injected 5 hatcheries and put back.
That was like a second and a half.
That was sick. He's got 5 queens on a hotkey. Look at that. There's 2 separate hotkeys. You know, this is actually kind of hard to do because if you overdo it, the queens start walking around like crazy. But if you do it perfectly, it's so fast.
Yeah.
I've always been an advocate for doing it like this, but I always overdo it, so I just do the boxing method, which is a little bit slower. Basically, you do the same thing, but instead of using the hotkey, you box, which makes sure the queen doesn't. It's a little bit slower. Like maybe my injects would have taken 2 or 3 seconds instead of 1.
Yeah.
But that's actually a pretty big difference.
It is a huge difference. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Because like over the course of a game, that is going to give you a lot more larva. The 2 or 3 seconds.
I agree. It's also just time you don't have to look at your whatever.
Well, you see how he's setting up all these wonderful flanks and these different maneuvers, and he can do this partially because his macro is so clean.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so clean. Like, actually, I made a comment on another video about the hotkeys he uses. It's so interesting. So look at this. He's got 2 hotkeys for the same kind of army here. He's got the entire army on hotkey here, and then he has just the Banes of that entire army.
Yeah. Attack move, and then you use move command on Banes.
And then he has his other army as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you attack move after or something, your Banes just die. So you have to You have to use your hotkeys very well here. Right?
Yeah.
I really like the flanking Banes. The way he does this, like tabbing through the hotkeys, like you'll see him going back and forth from Banes and stuff like that. And the best way to do that is by double tapping your hotkey, right? Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so
everyone uses that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to show for the other players. So the way he does, or the other viewers, he has these 4 Banes on hotkey here, and if you double tap it, your camera gets centered to it, right? So he can double tap 1 and go here, and double tap 2 and go here. Or double tap 2 is the Banelinks here, and then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he can use these effectively as a camera hotkey, which
absolutely.
for
jumping
the,
to your unit groups.
People that aren't pro gamers, this is what a lot of players do.
Yeah.
To watch their medevacs or whatever it may be. So you can watch his camera. He's just like all over the place with it. Honestly, the way he utilizes that is not a big deal, but the way he comes back at the perfect times is pretty impressive.
Yeah, he is like basically instantly looking at screens and knowing what to do.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, I've mentioned this before in countless places, but that's one of the biggest measurements of skill, of actual skill. It's like how quickly you can switch a screen and decide what to do and do it. And we're seeing that it's like as fast as can be here.
Yeah, look at that.
I think especially with a style like this, you have to be able to do it.
Some of the things he's doing, like when he flips his screen to something else. It's like even right now, like you can see in the bottom middle of the screen what he's selecting and at what time. As soon as he looks at the army, he's morphing Ravagers, whatever it may be. He looks at the injects. There's energy already, so he doesn't. Look at how quick he can build extractors at some of these bases too. It's just insane. Like he's just saturated 2 gases there, and like those 2 screen flips.
Yeah.
Like that's just sick. With drones that he's building too.
Yeah, it's very, very clean the way he manages.
Everything is very clean. This is what makes StarCraft look so easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you're so in touch with your movements and what you're thinking and processing, and your hands are following exactly what you want to do.
Yeah.
This would be as close to like playing as a robot as you could, because you almost don't have like an interface between you and the game if you play perfectly. Look at those 3 Banes here. Look at that. Just looking at a counterattack at the same time.
I love the Ling Bane style.
Yeah.
I just love it.
I mean, it just feels so clean and so crisp too. I mean, I really like this playstyle. I think if I was able to play late game, this is the way I would like to play it, or at least this is the way I'd like to play.
The Ling Bane style is like it can be very unforgiving if you don't do it well.
Yeah, it can.
And you do need to be able to flip around and make these really brilliant tactical moves. Like if he hadn't hit all those harassments on the probe lines, then suddenly Stats is walking across the map with 10 Archons, 6 High Templar, 8 Immortals, and whatever else he has, and you're dead because your army just won't be able to stand up to it. It's this consistent trading, right? He's not letting him get big enough. In fact, some of these times that we're seeing him run in and actually engage the army, he's trading inefficiently at time with Banelings.
Yeah.
Right? And that's it's important, actually.
He's inefficiently trading, but he's trading efficiently somewhere else too, right?
Yeah, it's
like
sometimes.
You can weigh the value of 2 separate trades, and if this one's really bad, but this one is solid, it's okay, right?
Yeah.
So you'll see a lot of the times where he'll take inefficient trades in one aspect so that the Protoss is focusing on that single thing, and then Banelings roll into your third and you lose the game, or whatever it may be.
Yeah. It's awesome to see, though. And, like, the thing is there's certain critical points for Protoss, right? Like, they have to get up to the right unit composition to be able to actually battle, especially on creep, especially against Banelings. So trading even inefficiently is much better than trying to wait for a good trade that never comes and then dying, because once Protoss hits the right unit composition, these +2 Baneling Roach Ravager with no upgrades isn't going to do anything against the Protoss army at a certain point.
It falls off really quick.
Yeah.
But that's why we have the Greater Spire.
That is very true. It's kind of the fallback panic button in a lot of ways.
And you know exactly what he would do is he would sit back with his Greater Spire Broodlords, and he'd be Ling run buying constantly.
Oh, yeah.
And you would just get picked apart. If you ever attack across the map, there's Broodlords. Even if they're weaker, you're not actually going to fight that with.
And the thing is, what are you going to go into?
Like +3 and Adrenal.
If you're going into carriers to kill those Broodlords, he's already kind of failed with the build. You know, because you need a big economy to be able to go carriers. You can't just make them. Which means you need to not lose your probes, which means you need to get a lot of Archons and things like that. Well, it allows you to, rather. But anyways, similar opening here.
What do you think about him using Abathur as a
as his voice pack? Yeah. I don't really have an opinion on it, to be honest. I use Phoenix personally. I mean, I use the Tastosis voice pack.
Ooh.
Buy the Tastosis voice pack.
You don't think voice packs play in it at all?
No, I think that there could be something very good about a voice pack. Like, I haven't put a lot of thought into it, but yeah, there might be ones that...
I'm kind of curious if Serral has any reason or if he just likes the sound of it.
Yeah, he probably just likes the sound of it.
Or what if it's like
the Phoenix? I like the Phoenix's voice
or something. Like it gets the point across. Queen birth finished. I don't know. Does the original adjutant have that even?
You know what? Actually, it just said like.
Wait.
Maybe it's like giving you a more specific thing, like queen birth. Does it say queen birth?
It doesn't say queen birth, but don't you hear the sound of a queen being born in the regular one?
I don't know. I can't think off the top of my head.
That's really interesting now.
Imagine if it's just like, oh, it says queen. That's what it says. It says queen birth, for instance, right?
Yeah.
That's like instantly knowing the queen is out.
Yeah.
There's no mistake.
I hope we're over analyzing it, but I also hope that we're just right. And he's like, "Yep," you know, like
yeah, no, it could be something like that. But the thing is, you'd probably want to use whatever you're normally using in tournaments, and I don't think in WCS you use announcers. Do you?
I don't think you can. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I mean, that's why I don't use any specifically. So interesting just to watch, like as a player that utilizes like Ling positioning and all this stuff. Just the way he's positioning everything, it just makes so much sense. Intuitively. He's so fast to even pull the Lings away when they're getting attacked.
It's because of Abathur. Abathur just being a bro. He's letting know the Swarm forces are under attack.
Yeah, Abathur's pretty sick.
So again, this slightly heavier Adept style, right? He's pushing in with like 4 Adepts. He still has one in the wall.
Yeah.
I'm sure he must be taking his 3rd right now.
This gets shut down so quickly, though. Serral has like the perfect amount of Lings to deal with this.
Let's take a look. Look. The probe versus drone count is really close once again.
Production tab, though.
Yeah. No, I know. But you got to do something, right?
I agree. I think this is the whole point of the build, is just to force them to have a reaction to it.
Yeah. And I mean, sometimes against some players, you are going to get kills. It's going to occur. But making Lings that aren't going to be all that useful, it's similar to a drone kill.
I think Serral's response to this game is way stronger than the last two. Like, we saw him lose all the Lings, and then he had to rebuild a lot in response to the Adepts.
yeah.
But this game, he actually just had the perfect amount, and he didn't lose any of them.
We have to jump back and slow it down. Okay.
So I'm faster now. What did I miss?
Hold on. I'll show you in a second. Sorry, so talk about what you were just saying, and then I'll show you what I saw.
I don't remember what I was saying now.
You were saying his response this game
compared
to the last one?
It was very... Okay, so there's a lot of questions you have to ask yourself when you're playing against Adepts. Is this a committed pressure, or is this just, like, forcing me to produce units? And that line can be very thin, right? Like, it could be very close to that push having glaives and another wave of Adepts coming behind it, or it could just be that's it, and I have a 3rd and all this other stuff, right? And that line between those two is very thin. If you haven't seen a Twilight or something, you're not exactly sure. If you see a Twilight, obviously it's 100%. But this game, he didn't really respect the other version. He just kind of maintained a certain Ling count that was enough to defend this exact amount of Adepts, by the way. Like 4 more Adepts and all those Lings are dead.
Yeah.
And then he squeezed out as many drones as possible immediately after.
Yeah, like if he had just added 2 more gates earlier. He has
good vision on the map, so I'm sure it's out of scouting reaction. It just feels like this game is way more crisp. In defense of the Adepts.
Okay. Now let's watch this. Ready? Watch this. Here we go. Watch these Lings. I just want you to see the positioning of stats as units. It's so cool. So he goes in, checks there.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love it.
Here. You would have gone for that.
Look at this.
You're crazy.
You see this gap here?
Dude, 1 force field and you're only hitting the Adept.
Where's stats looking at right now, though? Look at that. Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah.
I would have gotten all of those sentries, all of them, and you'd be like,
You would have made me use a lot of force fields there, is what would have happened. I like the placement, though. It's cool.
Yeah, it's a good placement. All right, let's look at what Serral's got. I feel like more Zerg players should utilize creep against Protoss. I think a lot of players just don't think it matters that much.
It matters hugely.
Yeah, it's really important.
Especially if you're doing anything Baneling styled. Like, Banelings get the ultimate boost from creep.
Yeah.
Speed Banelings on creep don't die to Psystorm. They go through it. It's actually true.
I believe you.
Yeah. They live through it. They just, like, roll through, so it's very, very important.
It's a lot of Overlord speed here. Or a lot of Overlords. He's 110 out of 160.
Well, you know what? Once you hit your drone count, why not? You don't need the units right away?
I guess. Also, Roaches take a lot of supply. Roach Ravager. Man, he's so good at just being all over the place at the same time. Like, the difference between someone like me and someone like him is so... His camera is just utilized 100% of the time, and he's always looking at something new. Like, And the difference between me and someone below me is it gets even more extreme, you know?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I'm pretty active, but not this active, you know? Like,
no, it's
like I won't sit and stare at a fight, but you know, this is next level.
yeah.
Like a lot of the time when I'm in this position, I question myself as to what I should be doing next, and there's no question whatsoever.
Yeah, he's super decisive. He knows what his plans are. Like, look, once again, hitting the Baneling drops.
It's so easy to be in this spot as Serral, right? And to have this army and not know what to do next.
Yeah.
If you're not Serral. If you're Serral, obviously you know exactly what you want. But like a lot of the time I'll get to this army and I'll feel like this stuff isn't really viable. Let's say there's Phoenixes out. Even if it's one, I just feel so deterred. I'm like, I don't want a Phoenix to snipe this map or whatever, right?
Sure.
But realistically, this should just always happen, even if it gets sniped immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you can lose like 4 of them in a row, and then the 5th one hits, and it's worth.
So like I'll sit in this position with this, and I'll be like, I can't really attack with this army. Like I don't really want to hit one spot, but I also don't want to multi-prong. And then I'm just sitting there with this army, you know?
Yeah,
It's further and further
pointless
not
to
being
sit
useful.
at home.
Well, it won't even sit. Like, I'll just move it around like this or whatever.
Yeah.
And just make sure I'm not going to get a warp prism or whatever. But then I realize I'm just giving him time to do whatever he wants forever.
But he's running around in so many different locations. Like, this is all part of it.
Yeah.
You know, looping around the map and hitting different locations is so important at these top levels.
I agree. Yeah, I would like to be
just
able to
the
utilize
rotation.
this better in my actually, Raynor does stuff like this as well really well.
Oh, yeah.
These are a lot of the strengths of Raynor and Serral and Dark. They all do this stuff really well. I think that's a problem with a lot of the macro Zergs that sit back, is they kind of miss this part of the build, or this part of the Zerg style, you know? Look at that. That was sick, by the way.
Yeah, stats.
Getting instantly punished.
Yeah.
I think one thing that's really nice about the way Serral plays is even if you get punished the way he just did, he makes up for it in efficient trades later on. Like, you'd never just down and out because of it. Though that trade was really good from our stats as well.
Well, he did as well as he could with what he had there.
Yeah. Oh, he's doing great, though. This game is really sick. It's kind of a similar style, by the way. We see Adrenal and +2 on the way, but we also have +2.
Yeah, well, the unit set is similar, but I want to say that the style is a little bit different. It didn't open with the Lings. The +2 was quicker last game. It was a little bit more Ling focused. He's been.
I wonder if the difference is, you remember there was that one time before +2 where the Banes connected on the third base in stats, like your first game, and we're like, wow, he didn't even need +2 there, and he killed like every probe. I wonder if at that point he's like, I'm gonna snowball this game and just keep doing it over and over and over again.
Maybe.
In this game, it didn't happen, and maybe he thinks if he does that the same style without the initial like third base attack, that if stats keeps repelling it, you'll lose.
Well, it seemed more active that game, but also the shapes of the bases makes a big difference. Like, look at what Stats has done here, right?
Sure, but we saw this in the other game too. 3 gates exactly like this, and there was an Archon sitting here. And he would always come through the same spot. Remember, he blew up the Archon?
Okay, yeah, you're talking about the third. I guess I'm talking more about the fourth base and stuff. But like, this is open to drops. This one's not really open to drops, to be fair. This wall is pretty good. It's a little bit harder to harass here.
In the third either, though. Like last game, we never saw Bane drops in the third. It was all Bane run bys. Exactly the same. The fourth base was more...
No. The third base, that's where we saw the Bane run bys.
Yeah. But not drops. Specifically, like you're saying, this base is not really a Bane droppable base.
Yeah.
But really, the other base wasn't as either, or at least it wasn't attempted.
Well, he keeps on checking this area. The thing is, up here, this is so defendable, right? Yeah. Like, you have to get in through here. You can't come this way. He already tried coming this way a few times, and Stats is always ready about there.
Yeah.
So that army's defending everything. Yeah, it's defending like everything. So it's kind of like Bane drops here, and then
run by
stuff down here. Yeah. It feels like the only places he can really do anything.
That's true. This map does feel a lot more abusable. Or a
lot
less abusable than the
last game. I think that definitely has something to do with why this is
do you think
different.
If he mines out, if Stats mines out and takes that fourth base near the main, if it's more defendable or less defendable?
Oh, you mean on World of Sleepers?
Yeah, because World of Sleepers.
Yeah, I think you should mine it out.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'm surprised that like it basically
never
happens.
There's only one gas there, and it's not even high yield anymore.
Yeah.
So it's just a nerfed gas, which makes no sense as a Protoss to take. Especially Stats of a player, because Stats is going to utilize as much gas as he can. Interesting.
Yeah. I definitely do agree, though.
Just put down 30 tumors at once.
They should cost 50 mana. I agree with Juan.
Oh, God. I think the initial change is really dumb still.
No, it's good. The creep still is getting just as far across the map, which means
that's what I mean. Like the change didn't do anything.
Well, that means that it's a good change, though.
No, you know how many the most annoying thing about the new patch, the most annoying thing, is that I always misplace my creep tumors because I don't care. I'm doing them fast, and I cancel and replace them. I know it's really inefficient, but I can't do that anymore.
It's gonna make you a better player.
It's gonna make me a better player, but it's just annoying
as hell. It's like taking F2 away.
Yeah, like I'm just a bad player, but it's so annoying. Or misplacing creep tumors happens all the time, to be honest, even if you're not a bad player.
Yeah.
And you just get punished.
Well, if you're placing them all perfectly, you're actually spending way too much time on them.
Yeah. You
perfectly is imperfect.
Yeah, I agree. I can't believe you even thought about going across that bridge.
Well, this is the thing. It's much harder for him to get the actual damage done here because it's, he's checking all the locations and Stats is just defending well.
Even his army just sits in places where he's happy to fight, right? Like this is a place you're happy to fight as Serral, and his army is just sitting on edge of creep here. Look at this. This is about to be the sickest possible surround. But there's a probe here for whatever reason.
It's going to expand there.
Oh, he sees it now. Look at this.
Yeah, he can back up just in time. Can he, though? Oh, my God. He's missing one force field right there. Oh, my God. Well, that's sad.
I've never seen a Protoss army get wrecked harder than that.
Damn. Okay.
Still, he's got a Greater Spire, and he hasn't utilized it yet at all.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's something that we're seeing, right? That's a defensive measure.
Yeah.
What do you think about this mothership that's being made?
I think it's really nice because it kind of forces corruptors and forces units that aren't ground army. And you can utilize it for zoning. But you need to have a really strong ground army for it. Otherwise, it's just wasted supply and money.
All right, there are some corruptors being made.
Yeah, once corruptors are made, though, it kind of feels useless.
But if he's making corruptors right now, don't you think that this is maybe for Broodlords? Because he's having a hard time, actually, in some of these fights. Right? Like, Stats is getting a good army.
Yeah.
I love that, by the way. How he pulls some Banes back because he sees the Zalts in the front, and then Stats pulls the Zalts away and sends the Archons back. It's just this little dance that great players do. I
mean, I guess it is for Broodlords, but...
It has to be. It has to be.
Oh, I'm kind of curious how he utilizes these, because it does feel like Broodlords are really forced in a defensive position now. Like offensive Broodlords with smaller leash feels really risky, you know? Like offensive Broodlords in the last patch was risky, so...
No, totally.
Even now.
But the thing is, against an army like this army is not great at anti-air. Yeah. And just getting the Archons clogged up with the Broodlings, I think, is the most powerful part of it. And the Immortals as well,
Look at this stuff. It takes some real patience to not take some of these fights, too. Like, I look at that, and I'm like, you know what? I could take that. and then Serral's running away from it, and I'm like, okay, you're probably right.
Yeah.
Like, I take a lot of those fights where I'm like, I could take that, and then I realize, oh, my God. That's annoying.
That's the heartbreak moment right there.
And he has the Broodlords to defend. So, remember game 1, I said my hypothesis with Broodlords is that he's going to just try and pick them apart with +3, but never really move out with the Broodlords?
Yeah.
Take
and you know what? When he was making the Broods, I think that maybe he looked at this game and said, okay, his army's getting so strong, he's going to come after me. And look at this. He's getting the Broodlords exactly as Stats is coming for him. Like, basically exactly when.
I think a lot of this, like, run by sort of by time so he doesn't get pushed, too. If you look at this, what do you think of this?
Neural.
How many infest? Does he have any?
No.
Yeah. Guess he's just opening up more paths.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Because he's not making any, and if you're not making any, wouldn't you get pathogen first?
Yeah, you would.
You would think so.
Well, you need infestors now to have the energy for it. I think you can start at like something like here, and it'll finish.
Maybe just a slight mistake.
Yeah, I think he's just opening it up.
Oh, he already has pathogen.
Okay, well then that's different.
That would be why. Yeah, that makes perfect sense then.
How dare we?
Okay, so he's actually attacking with this. He is attacking. This is interesting, yeah. Here, let's go everyone's screen. I want to see this.
Stats. Like,
right?
Like you're getting attacked into with Broodlord.
So it's 6 Broods. He does have some Queens for transfusion. Wait, did he get Blink? He did get Blink. This feels like Stats is going to kill this army.
I know, but well, he might. I mean, the game doesn't end here, so clearly something happens.
Oh, I think he can win that fight. Like, Psystorms are going to do well. He has how many Archons? 7 Archons. Yeah, he's going to win this fight. Come on.
I wonder if Serral backs up.
And look, he's got the Maybe Time Warp coming out?
I find it really interesting that this fight is even happening. Like,
okay, that blink forward,
I mean, he was trying to get Broodlords. It does feel like the Broodlord is way weaker. Like, the old Broodlords would have just went to town there.
Oh, yeah. There's no question.
Oh, that's a big blink.
Yeah.
I kind of wish the Storms were better placed originally. Like, that felt...
Those
like
two Archons in the back are breaking my soul right now.
Look at this. Blinks forward still. Just kill the Overseer. That was the only Overseer in the fight.
Oh my god, you're right.
If he would have killed that Overseer, he would have just won the game right there.
That would have been sick. Okay, another one came down,
yeah.
though. That's a new one.
That would have been sick.
That would have been funny. Okay, now...
Now this is a big mistake, I think.
I find it interesting because, like, the Broodlords, like, you morphed them just in time. That if the attack came and then he actually attacked with them, and it doesn't seem like that was a very good attack, right? Like, I guess the Psystorms are gone. Oh my god.
I've never seen Zerglings kill this army before.
+3 Adrenal. Pretty good, I hear.
+1 armor. +1 armor, +3 Adrenal. Come at me.
So
wait,
he just...
what? Is stats 0/0? Okay, no, he's got +3.
Yeah. Pros don't get attack upgrades.
I was about to say, though.
So hold on a second. What we just saw was a bunch of +3 Adrenalings kill the entire Archon Immortal army of stats, right? That's what we saw?
The thing is...
That's painful.
I actually don't think stats is doing this right either, though. Like, when you see such heavy Ling Bane, I think you actually do need armor. Armor is actually good in this position, right?
Well, I think you need Plasma because you should be very Archon heavy.
Yeah. Well, Plasma and armor, though.
Yeah, I mean, armor's good, but...
Well, like, if you can cancel out +3 attack for Zerglings, that's a huge difference than if you're going 0 damage or 0 armor.
Well, I think you look at what in your army is going to live through things. It's like, Zealots are not doing really anything in these battles, you know, because of the Banelings. So I feel like it's very Archon-based. So armor doesn't matter as much for them. I actually prefer Plasma over...
I guess. Well, Plasma's good. Either way, he needs something here to keep the army alive.
I'd agree.
Like, there were a bunch of Immortals there, too, that kind of utilize it. But, yeah, I think if I had to pick one, I guess Plasma would be really good. The point is that, what the hell? Like,
well, now he's lost his whole army. It's reset, right?
Yeah.
What did he keep alive? Only the Mothership? That's not really that scary. Serral is using such a low-tech unit.
Look at that Oracle.
Man.
Well, how are you going to deal with that? Artosis. Did you ever think about that?
He's making a spore somewhere.
He queued up all the queued him up on the Ravagers too.
That's pretty funny.
This is why Protoss has got Mass Oracle. He's like, well, this one Oracle did so well. Why don't I just make 30?
Yeah.
Oh,
what's up?
It's just Flash Dance.
Get out of here.
Okay, so we have the Lings back on the prowl. This is enough Lings with +3. You can actually just kill the Cybercore if you feel like it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know why you wouldn't. Adrenal +3 is...
Look at how quick the Cybercore dies.
Oh my god.
Look at it. Where'd it go?
Look, it's just get in on top of that. You're like, yeah, I'll kill this army too. No problem.
Adrenalings look
Dude,
so funny.
yeah. It's crazy. Look at what those things just did. Those didn't cost anything. Those were...
Well,
people hate free units. There you go.
Free units.
Close
They're
enough.
Getting there, though. Yeah.
They're getting there.
Well,
cheapest unit in the
4
game.
Lings, 1 Zealot, right?
Yeah, except +3 Adrenalings are way better.
I would definitely take 40 Adrenalings over 10 Zealots.
Yes. 100%.
Does feel like the Prism utilization's been really slow, but I think with +3 Adrenalings, you feel so good, you know, defending. Like, even if I had Lings here, I could run them across the map before you kill anything.
Yeah, and he's been adding spines ever since Stats started running Zealots around. Like, as soon as he started sending around. But the thing is, Serral's vision is always so strong. It's like he sees his entire half of the map. I guarantee if we look at only Stats vision, he doesn't see his entire half.
Not upgraded.
What, does he need to defend against the attack?
You know, we don't have Infested Terrans, just bring the Spore Crawlers.
Hey, look, it's Broodlord Infestor. Nice. Nice.
Well, that's not what I predicted. I do think Broodlord Infestor should rotate out, but we'll see.
Well, he had the Broodlords, right?
May as well add the Infestors. Stats doesn't want to do anything more with Sky Toss. He just keeps up on the ground army even though it's Broodlord Infestor. No.
Well, I'm not sure that he knew it was going to be Infestor.
Like, what if we added a couple Tempests? You guess we'd have to add Corruptors?
Well, I mean, adding anything would be good because this army is not going to do it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he just tagged his army.
What? He tagged his
Neuralin to tag.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
That's sick.
It's a good way to detect, right?
Yeah. Just take their detectors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, trade is not very good.
It's interesting seeing this. Whereas just Fungals coming down, there's no Infested Terran chance here at all.
Broodlings have +3, man.
It's crazy. They should get Adrenal too. We should have a Broodling speed upgrade.
No. As a Zerg player, I'll put my foot down on that one. Yeah, I don't know.
I wasn't expecting to see this endgame look like this.
It feels like Stats could have changed out of this at some point, but he didn't. I'm not sure if his economy was just too bad or if he felt like he needed this army comp to deal with the heavy Ling stuff.
I think that everything went wrong when he lost his remaining army to the Lings.
Oh! That was almost scary. Look at these 2 Archons being dropped on top of the Broodlords.
Those Archons were serious.
GG.
Well, I guess that's that. Kind of an interesting one.
Yeah, I think there's still a lot of room for Stats to win this. If you've given him different tools. I think that Stats felt like he had to play this way because of the Ling Bane +3. Plus he played against this before and got bopped with it, right?
Yeah, well, no matter what, you need to get a lot of Archons and you need to have a lot of Size Storm. You have to really respect everything.
Serral didn't go Broodlords the other game too. So maybe that messed with him a bit. He's like, oh, you're just going +3 Ling Bane.
Well, the Broodlord attack, like, he even held it fine. It's just when he attacked on a creep right afterwards, maybe he should have rebuilt to max.
Yeah.
Because, like, he was showing that at max versus max, he's actually got a better army. And then, like, he lost a chunk of it. What Spy's at? Like, probably 150 or something after that fight. And then he loses it to Lings.
I think he saw Lings. He's like, well, you don't have any Banes. I can take that. And
yeah.
Like, nope.
Yeah. +3 Adrenal against, you're right. It's Plasma just taking full damage there. And it's like, well, yeah, you're one-shotting the Lings, but they don't care.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, that was interesting.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, a shorter episode, but thank you all for watching. Let us have feedback on how you liked it.
Yeah, follow us. Do Patreon stuff.
That's right.
Discord stuff. We love you all. You're all beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I think that's about it. Thanks for watching. We are going to have In-Depth every week, so no worries there.
Up to Season 2, so.
Yes, and then Season 2 will start, and you guys will see some of the cool stuff we have planned. All right.
All right, guys.
Guys, thanks for watching. See you next time.